Hi, I'm James Gangle, and welcome to My Little Kitchen. I love the musical Hamilton. I listen to it over and over and over again. I can't get enough of it. So today on Little Kitchen, we are bringing home the bacon. Not literally, or figuratively for that matter, but somewhere in between. Anyway, the point is, today we're looking at pork and the origins of money, hence the Hamilton connection. When we make a succulent pork tenderloin on a bed of roasted red onions and green apples. Come on.
The first thing we have to do with this pork tenderloin is season it with salt and pepper. So generously sprinkle some salt on all the sides. There we go. That's nicely salted there. And then crack on some pepper on all the sides. And now we can just set this aside and work on our rub. For our rub, we're going to put in a tablespoon of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of grainy mustard, dried rosemary, 3/4 of a tablespoon of lemon zest. That'll give our tenderloin a very fresh flavor. 2 cloves of garlic, and that is it. Now we're going to mix this all together, and that's our rub for our pork tenderloin. Now it's time to sear that sucker. So I've got a pan here on medium-high heat. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of olive oil. Give it a little move around in there in the pan so it's well distributed. And then we're just going to toss our pork tenderloin in and brown it on all sides. Wow, it sounds good. So about 2 minutes each side, which means we've got 6 minutes to spare, which also means this is a perfect time to draw the connection between money and pork tenderloin. First, we're going to talk about money. Come on.
1792.
The United States established the dollar as the country standard unit of money. Funny that no one had thought of it before as they bought more and more and more. What a chore, all these currencies and coins. Flip your tenderloin. Each state birthed a dearth. What are they worth? What are they worth? So Congress boiled them all down. Bills they did render, and that's how the dollar became legal tender.
But before the dollar became legal tender in 1792, this cut of meat was legal tender, which is now seared and browned on all sides. So we can set it aside. So it's not tender because it's soft and juicy, which it is. It is tender because it was universally accepted as currency before the dollar came into place. Tenderloin. Look it up. We've got this smoking hot pan here, so we're just going to deglaze it with a little bit of beef broth and about a tablespoon of butter. And we're going to toss in a few sprigs of fresh thyme. And just move that around, get some of those meat juices from the bottom up, and let that butter melt. That smells so lovely. We're going to throw a little roughly chopped garlic into the mix as well. That'll add to the flavors. Mix that around, just soften the garlic up a little bit. And now that our garlic has softened up, we're going to throw in some red onions, and we're going to throw in some apple slices. And all we're going to do is just kind of coat that in that sauce that we made. While that simmers away on low heat, we can now apply our rub. So I like to use my hands. I'm just going to massage this pork tenderloin with our rub, getting that rub into every nook and every cranny. Pop your pork tenderloin on top of the onions, on top of the apples. If you've lost some rub, go ahead and top it up there. Now this whole thing goes into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20-25 minutes. The internal temperature should reach 145 or 150, and that will make it perfect and pink and juicy, and you'll love it, and you might be able to trade it as legal tenderloin. My pork tenderloin has been in there for 20 minutes. It's hit 150 internal temperature, which is perfect. Let's check it out. Check that out. Now, as always, I want to eat this right away, but I am going to wait at least 10 minutes to let the juices spread back out into this tenderloin. So I'm going to take this tenderloin off of our onions and our apples and put it on this board and cover it up. And I'm going to put this back in the oven and let these onions and apples keep roasting away. We've let our tenderloin sit for 10 minutes, so let's take a look. Smells good, smells good. So let's see how juicy it is. Let's check it out here. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how perfect and juicy that is. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So let me free up these apples and onions from the oven. Oh, look at this. Those onions are caramelized. Let's prepare a little plate here. Some apples and onions. And now there's nothing left to do but to taste it. That is so good. It's so tender. In the tender sense. And juicy. You get a bit of the lemon zest hit and the sweet from the apples. This thing is perfect. It's worth its weight in gold. We could talk about the gold standard too, if you want. I actually don't know much about it.